you know what tattoo artists get? All we get is a photo. It's like you do the tattoo work, and then if we're lucky, right, we get published somewhere, or it's in somewhere live where like your family can look it up. Let's say 100 years from now, you'd be lucky to have a photo of your work.
Yeah,
you know. And then when I started making machines, I was like, machines last forever, dude. And then when I started making the machines, like, dude, like my legacy will continue for at least 100 years. So as many machines I can make, 100 years from now, they can still say my name, and then my family can look it up, type of thing. That's the reason I really prefer like machine building.
All right, guys, welcome back to a new episode of the IQ Project. My name is Josh. I'm right here with my co-host Ricky Tat.
Yo, what's up?
We got Romeo Shades in the house today.
Back in full effect.
Yeah. So we got a special guest today, good friend Sam. I already forgot your last name, bro.
No, MGO. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sam, we met in painting again, and this guy does a lot of different.
Yeah, machine building and tattooing and part-time inventor and
you do a lot, bro.
Shit ton of hobbies.
Father.
Yeah, even though I'm not.
We should pass on the idea that we had about the machine, about the battery.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about it right now. Save it for the.
I don't know. Frank has a pretty good idea on his battery with that back then and shit. I was like, fuck.
No, what's it called? Actually, he just gifted me for Christmas that light.
Yeah.
For your wrist when you're tattooing. So when you're
traveling and stuff, and it's like you don't have to set up. See, because my goal is like to have like the least amount of stuff. Because I do a lot of traveling lately, and it's like I hate carrying the box. I don't want to carry a suitcase. I don't want to like try to fit everything in the back, which doesn't even fit. So one other thing was lighting, and I would go to like other states and I tattoo, and then it's like I'm not gonna bring like a big old lighting. Yeah. So I figured out a way to. I was trying to figure out a way to do it on my wrist. Because I'm not going to wear it on my head because I've done that already.
Look like a miner, huh?
Yeah. So now, like, thank God, like, technology's improved, right? And it's like you have so many different types of lighting.
Yeah.
I was hooking up my flashlight before we're here. And now I have this GoPro thing, which I don't even know was invented. Yeah. So I spent all this time and money trying to figure this thing out, and it's already made and crap. So, yeah.
It's still pretty good, though. I use the lighting. I don't use it on my wrist, but I use it on a tripod for like my paintings. Yeah. So
yeah, it works. So I do that too. I have a separate tripod for it if I want to go that route. But I still think the wrist is pretty the easiest one because it's just so direct, you know. And I can tattoo in the dark if I want to.
It's true.
It's pretty cool.
And mainly when you're stretching, you're just
it just hangs right there. Huh? It just hangs right here, you know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't shine over the tube. It goes under the tube, so it's like. You know?
Damn, that's dope.
Imagine if we put a CPL filter on that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no glare.
Yeah. And there's no glare. Because you have like 4 choices to pick for the lighting.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it had a soft cover on it, too.
Yeah.
So,
cool, man. We'll definitely get into your story, man. Like, you seem like you have a lot of knowledge in the background. I have a couple questions about you as an entrepreneur and how you think. But welcome back, Romeo. Where'd you go, dog?
I've been in MIA. I've been
I know.
Just doing life.
No, you're grinding, but but where'd you go this weekend?
Oh, this week I visited Virginia to visit some family and my dad. I hadn't seen in 2 years.
That's cool, man. Traveling artist. Look at you. First year,
I
second year.
did tat him. But I didn't want to bring out the printer, so I just free-handed whatever he wanted, which was fun.
That's crazy. Brother, you bring out the brother, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't have that.
You did it old school. You actually drew on that? Damn, that's OG, right? That's the top.
Honestly, it brought me some type of happiness because obviously I look up a lot to Placasso, and that's all that food, would do. So I kind of felt like that in a way, but yeah.
Well, how powerful is that to just go another state and not have to worry about stencil paper and stencil machine? Yeah. Just, okay, what you need, dog? Oh, you need a ribbon? All right, boom.
Boom. Yeah.
Go buy me a big pen. And then
buy me a big pen, dog. And you got deodorant? Órale, vámonos. Oh, you don't need deodorant. Nah, free-handing, right?
Yeah. Use Noxzema, you know. That works too. And KY jelly. You
got all the tricks, bro.
Yeah, but that was a long search for that. Because sometimes they don't sell it, you know what I mean? Like, you can't find green soap. Back in the days, all you have is green soap, right? Yeah. And you're like, fuck. And then somebody said, the guy that does the doctor soap, the guy who does like the different types, I forgot his name.
Dr. Soap?
It's like he does a soap. He does lavender, peppermint, and stuff like that. That's the other alternative to green soap. And then we started looking, and then Pine Sol, you use Pine Sol too, because I heard like one of the artists actually slangs that back in the day. Yeah, because it has the right ingredient there that will do the transfer. Yeah. So there's a lot of tricks back in the days. Back in the days, you have to figure like shit out like crazy, you know, because there's no like, you can't just go buy like stencil stuff. It doesn't even exist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
how did the deodorant trick come out?
It's always been there.
Yeah.
The deodorant's always been there. The speed stick, clear speed stick.
I wonder what chemical is in there that?
This is glycopropylene. That's really what it is. Yeah, it's the same that you vape with. Yeah. So you can use vape, but vape has too many sugars and stuff. So it would mess up the stencil, but glycopropylene, that's all it is. And KY jellies, and I think Noxzema uses part of their ingredients. Deodorant uses part of their ingredients. So if you look at the labels, it's glycopropylene, you could probably do a stencil with that, you know?
Artists still use that to this day, right? They still use the speed sticks, like even if they're...
They shouldn't.
Oh,
they should be melting it down. You know?
Never mind.
If you watch that episode with Richie, he actually tells you the 50-50.
Right. So what do you when people say, what do you do? Do you call yourself a tattoo artist, or what do you call yourself?
Right now, I would say I would prefer a machine builder, because I have it's funny because like Alan back in the days when I used to talk to him like way a lot, he would say like, you know what tattoo artists get? All we get is a photo. It's like you do the tattoo work, and then if you're lucky, right, we get published somewhere, or it's in somewhere live where like your family can look it up and say 100 years from now, you'd be lucky to have a photo of your work.
Yeah.
You know? And then when I started making machines, I was like, machines last forever, dude. And then when I started making the machines, like, dude, like my legacy will continue for at least 100 years. So as many machines I can make, 100 years from now, they're gonna still say my name, and then my family can look it up, type of thing. That's the reason I really prefer like machine building.
Machine builder.
But I do love tattooing. I still think it's magical. I still like get excited every time I look at it. Every time that walks in with my artwork, I'm like, fuck, I can't believe that they let me mark them. It's still a magical thing.
How many years have you tattooed?
Probably like, I would say 15 to 18 on and off. At least, maybe 20, you know?
I think it was close to 20.
Yeah, I used to sell needles back in the days.
Did you?
Yeah.
After you made them?
Yeah, after my apprenticeship, when I left the apprenticeship, my mentor, Araldo Moharo, he's in Palm Desert right now. I think he doesn't even tattoo that much, I think. And then he showed me how to make needles. And he goes, hey, if you make it, I'll buy from you. So I would start making them, and I would start slanging from the shop. And then, and I did it for a while until Chinese people started making the needles, right? And that killed it, which is cool, which is fine, you know what I mean? It made my life easier too.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier for the artist, huh?
Yeah, it's more safe, you know, because there's really no guarantee that you know, all you see is all you look for, like back in the days, they have like you seal in this little plastic bag thing, and then right, and it's not like kind of brownish. That means it's not sterile. You know what I mean?
Oh shit!
I mean, they just sealed it. They didn't sterilize it. You know what I mean? So you have to know how to look at it too, and all that stuff. So yeah, so
you're talking to us that we don't know about sterilization.
Yeah,
we started
like all disposables and all that.
Disposables.
Yeah,
so we're not really familiar.
But
with
I like it a lot, because the reason why I'm like really big on like coil machines versus like rotary, because it was the last item before somebody else takes it over. Because back in the days when I started, the artists would tell you like, hey bro, you got to draw your flash, bro. In case it's slow, you go slang your flash. In case it's slow, you slang tattoo equipment, or you slang machines or whatever. And that's your other business during the slow time. And the tattoo machine was the last thing. And so I was like, when I got into it, I was like, dude, this is the last thing. That means that you have to depend 100% on your artwork. And I go to a lot of shops, and I'm like, 50%, bro. 50% of the artists there are starving, always. Not because of their artwork. Sometimes it's their artwork. It's because a lot of times they don't have good customer service, stuff like that. Or like they're introvert, so they just want to be stuck in their corner and they don't want to talk to nobody, you know? So they end starving out. So to me, it's like, I kind of feel sad about the fact that that's the reason why like there's no other option besides your artwork. Now you have to be good at social media, you have to be good at your artwork, and that's how you survive. And if you don't got that, you don't got shit. You're gonna starve, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we talk about a lot of customer service, like it's really important. So I know back then in the day, it used to be more like you come in, I tattoo you, that's it, right?
Yeah.
Now we actually have to, like we were talking about, like you do it too, like we buy them lunch, we do this and that, right? At what point did you think that started changing with everyone?
Miami Ink.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, because back in the days, well, I mean, like the tattoo world was like a totally different world at that time, right? When I started, it was like the gangs finally got into the tattoo shop, like the regular gangs. Before it was all biker gangs, right? That ran the tattoo shop.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's very limited, right? So when you walk in there, what the fuck you want? You got to pick something, you know? Like it's almost like that mentality. We're that special. Like, where you gonna go, bro? There's no other shop around here. Like, pick the whatever the fuck you want, sit down. Don't waste my fucking time, right?
Because you guys had those numbers coming. You
had to walk in line out the door.
Yeah.
You know, there was no advertising. You don't need to advertise. There was like, all you put tattoo and you made money, you know? And then, like, of course, like the Latino culture came in and took part of the money away from the biker gangs.
The biker gangs.
And they feud and they fought and all that stuff. And so it changed the whole world, you know? And then people, and it was still the same mentality. You go there, like, what the fuck you want? You gonna get something? Or we used to go there like, that guy ain't getting shit. Don't fucking help him. He ain't getting shit. You know what I mean? It was like,
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Like a blog of that back in the day.
Yeah, it was totally different. And then I was never like that because I came from like sales and customer service. I'm like, what? Like, why did you guys say hi?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Say hi to everybody, you know? So after that, and then Miami came out, I was like, fuck. And everybody's like, damn, we have to be nice to them. You know what I mean?
You have to hear their story.
Yeah, hear the stories and maybe they cry in the mirror or something, you know? Yeah.
That's true. I think we all forgot the power of what Miami Ink did and LA Ink did too. The tattoo industry, because prior to that, I mean, that literally changed it from underground to what is mainstream, you know?
Yeah, it's funny because I used to be like not with it, you know, like fuck, these fuckers like ruin our shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like why they do, they're OGs and why they ruin our shit. But the truth is like, I mean, says, well, actually, if you like do like watch his interview and stuff, he's like, I don't know why people are mad at me. I'm just trying to show like somewhat of a tattoo life. I'm not selling the equipment. If you want to get mad at somebody, then you get mad at the supplier because they're the one putting on Amazon, on Big Knees, whatever, on all these. You can get at. I'm surprised Art Supply doesn't have it, but you know.
Yeah, I know.
But the other one, like I forgot the other one.
Joker Supply. Yeah.
So they're selling to everybody, right? Yeah. And that's why people get mad. And at the same time, then the people, I know some friends like that own supply company. They're like, well, we're just trying to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
So
and the demand is there.
Yeah, the demand is always there.
You can't fight that demand, especially when it hit the popularity like that. Now everybody wants one, and you're just running out of equipment. You need to go buy some.
Yeah.
Well, think about how many artists actually, like great artists right now, started because they were able to get that one supply. Like I know a lot of people was like, I used to order from a magazine.
Yeah.
You know? So I think in a way it was good and in a way it was bad.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the people that are not going to follow through and not going to be good at it, they're going to weed themselves out.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
I mean, you still got to be good. You still got to have the skill. And anyway, you still got to put in the work regardless, you know? But I hear like stories back in the days too where like if you were in the tattoo industry, like really solid, like they were called National Tattoo Supply. Because back then, National was one of the main ones. They said, hey man, don't sell to this dude. And
they were that close-knit?
Blackballed. You were done. You have to figure out a different way to get supplies and stuff, you know, which I thought was pretty cool, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, what did I also hear? I heard that maybe on tattoo machines.
Yeah.
What's that famous one in Covina?
Dringenberg?
Dringenberg?
Yeah.
So if you wanted a Dringenberg, the shop owner had to vouch for you.
Probably back then.
To get a tattoo machine. You can't just go over there and buy one with money. They had to be vouched.
Yeah.
So.
That's when he was still alive.
You have to like show the supply. You have to know who sent you and all that stuff.
Yeah, it had to be vouched by somebody. You couldn't just go like now. So it was definitely a tight community.
Yeah, I used to call back in the days, and I kind of left my first apprenticeship, right? And I would call National. I was like, hey, can I buy whatever? And then they're like, who's your artist? And then I can't say the shop or what shop you were because I wouldn't work there no more. Then they were like,
they would check.
They were like, call your fucking tell your fucking artist to go call me, and then I'll let you order like that. It was like that, bro. That's a gatekeeper right there, bro. Yeah, they're like, nope, we're gonna give you shit. So I remember all that, bro. Yeah.
I think the only people that do it now that I know of is Kingpin?
Yeah, Kingpin is really solid. You know what I mean?
Tatzel.
Yeah. You have to be in a shop.
Yeah.
If not, they won't sell to you, which is legit. You know what I mean? Like, I like that too, you know?
Hey, speaking about apprenticeships, let's go back to when you first started or got introduced to tattooing or even,
my apprenticeship was very interesting, actually. It was, I was in Garden Grove, and I lived across the street from this group home. And then there was this white guy. He's a Nazi lowrider. And then I was like, fuck, man, I gotta look at his shit. He was like full sleeve. I gotta look at his shit. And I came over, like, hey, bro, like, is it cool I check out your tattoos? And he goes, yeah, bro. He's like, started pulling out his arm. He's like lifting his sleeve, took off his shirt, showed me all his tattoos and stuff. And he goes, bro, I work at Sick Dog. You guys should come and get tatted, right? And then, so I went over there. So I'm like, I didn't get tattooed. My younger brother ended up becoming his best friends, right, with this guy. It's really weird. Very interesting. Yeah. And then I was just sitting there, and then Carlos Torres was there. He was like tattooing next to Geraldo. They were like drawing and stuff. And then all I said was, I think I could do that shit. Exact words. I think I could do that shit like a fucking asshole, you know? And then Geraldo's like, yeah, you think you could do it, man? And I was like, yeah, I think I could do it, man. And then boom, I put in like my high school art stuff. And he goes, I think you could do it too. You want to be an apprentice? And that was it.
Damn. So you're always into art prior?
Yeah, I think I was a good tracer. I've always been a good tracer. Like, I drew portraits like when I was a kid because my brother, like, he kind of know how to draw. He was not an artist, really. He drew of George Washington for high school. Like, he did a report on George Washington, and then he drew this portrait. I was like, fuck, dude, that's fucking bad. And then I ended up drawing a George Washington, which is not as good. And then, like, we would get, like, encyclopedias back then because it's, like, everything encyclopedia. And then we sit there and just copy the same shit.
Dope.
So I think I'm a good tracer, always been. But I would never say I was an artist. Like, people ask me, are you an artist? Like, no, I'm not. I'm a good tracer. I'm very like if you say you're a tattoo artist, like, I take that very serious. If you say you're a tattooer, it's one thing. A tattoo artist is different to me because the word artist to me, it requires for you to be tested. Like, or you should be able to be tested. Hey, can you put the lighting from like down left? Change the lighting on down left on that portrait and draw it on the fly. Like, do the best job that you can. At least have like an understanding. Then I say you're an artist. And if you just say you're a tattoo artist, because it's kind of misleading, because a lot of people say, I'm a tattoo artist. And then people come in, right? And the customer walks in and say, what are you? I'm a tattoo artist. You know, that's why you're asking for my advice. And if they're not that good, then they're not really an artist. They might be a tattooer. They could poke a needle on somebody and leave the mark, right? So I kind of take it like that. But that comes from my guitar playing too, because I was studying like flamenco. You know, that was my choice of study. And then people say, oh, you're a flamenco guitarist. I was like, no, I'm not a flamenco guitarist. I play the guitar. That's what I would say. I would correct right away. Because if you say you're a flamenco guitarist, then a dancer comes out and you're like, you're fucked. You're fucked. Yeah.
That's cool. So you got your apprenticeship, Sick Dogs, right?
Yeah, Sick Dogs.
Yeah. That's in Westminster? Sorry.
Yeah, Westminster.
I'm checking it out right now.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest shops in Westminster.
Damn.
A lot of artists came out from there.
Yeah.
Well, you said what we were talking about.
Carlos Torres, Ben Grillo was there. Jose Lopez.
That's crazy.
Yeah, also worked there. A lot of people came from there.
So you worked alongside with them, or it just, they just came from there?
When I came to Sick Dogs, Carlos Torres was there probably like a month or something like that. Not even. Then he went back to SoCal. And then I followed him to SoCal, and then I try to study with him or try to steal as much as I can, you know, at that time. Yeah.
With Terry right there.
Terry, she was nice. Everyone was nice there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very fun.
That's cool. So you just walk us through that. So after that,
and then I had a bad experience there. So as an apprentice, I didn't like it. So I quit. And then I started tattooing from my house. And then it was all right. I made all right money, you know. just like tattooing a lot of gang members, a lot of Asian guys, because my neighborhood has a lot of Asian guys and stuff. I was all about like Japanese work at that time. I was all like trying to study Horiyoshi and thinking like I could do better than Horiyoshi and shit.
Yeah.
Even my ego was getting bigger. All that stuff. Yeah, it was crazy. And I was like, I can do a dragon. He can do a dragon. I can do a dragon. That was like always my mentality. And then after I worked at, I got a regular job actually. I got a girlfriend at that time, and she's like, maybe you should get a regular job. You know, it doesn't look like this tattooing has a future, you know? So, and while Carlos was telling me, you need to be a tattoo artist because you don't even know what it's like. You should just try it out, because I've never been like at a good shop. And I was like, nah. So I had to become a insurance salesman for AAA.
Oh, that's where you learn your salesman.
Yeah, 2.5 years I worked there. But before that, I was already doing telemarketing for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was selling like candy at school, I mean, $100 a day on selling candy at school.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've just been grinding.
Yeah. So after that, I went to CM Hurt, which is like a piercing place, and then I worked there for a little bit during that time too, and then I quit working at the auto club 2.5 years, thinking I could make more money doing mortgage.
Yeah.
And then that never worked out. And then I would just hang out shops. I would stop by Lowrider. I would stop by Triton. It used to be Triton before this got advanced. I used to be close to with me and stuff. So I'll hang there. Then that's how I end up like meeting Casper and stuff and working there. And then I worked there for a little bit. And then he sent me over to Sideshow, which is like the best thing that ever happened to me. That was like, I didn't want to work there. It was fucking far.
Well, Sideshow's in
Venice
Beach.
Right? I was in Garden Grove. It's a 40-minute drive there every day. You know what I mean? And
it's just a walk-in shop.
And it was like, that shop is crazy. I don't even want to go to the store. That shop is like, I'm surprised.
Is that where you learned the shop hustle, remember, when you were talking about? Or that's
I would do the hustle. I always understood the hustle. I knew how to get in clients and all that.
The sharing of, remember when you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, you had a name for it. It was like shop.
The shop game.
Shop game.
Yeah. I couldn't do it there.
No?
Yeah, I couldn't do it there because there was too many variables that like prevent that shop to be like super like explosive, you know?
Well, first of all, do you want to explain a little bit what the shop game is? So like everybody that's like watching, all the new guys.
So the shop game is like this. Let's say like usually like if you choose like a really good shop, to me, like if you're like looking for a job, if there's like 4 guys, you would have 2 guys would be like they already have appointments, and hoping that the 2 guys will like say they're too busy, so they're gonna send some business back to you, right? That's one of the I kind of look for back in the days. Mm-hmm. And then let's say like at most of the shops I work at, is like whoever shows up first at the door will get priority, or whoever works there the longest will get priority. So it's based on the time you worked at the shop and be like seniority. So the way I do it is usually the last shop I was the youngest one, like, so I had to like make sure that everybody tattooed before I do. So they had like 3 people or 2 or 3 people in front of me, and they didn't know how to sell. So people were going like, hey, you know, like, how much for a star? And then they're like, $50, and they just leave. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what the fuck?
You would observe that they weren't closing.
They weren't closing the deal. Like the way if somebody comes to me at a star, they go, hey, you want a star? I go, dude, I fucking love stars, bro. Stars are amazing. You know? And I was like, do you know that Leonardo da Vinci uses a star on like one of his pieces to do like mapping so I give him all these facts. Cause
so smart.
That was one of the things I learned too back in the days. They used to have this book called Symbols, right? And everything would have explanation for the ghost, right?
Yeah.
It always follows me around. So they have a book of symbols. So every time you do a tattoo, you would give them a history on what they're getting. Mm-hmm. And it gives you like more value to the tattoo. So I know that. So I would like, so when they go to the star, they're, oh dude, fucking stars are dope, man. Sick geometry, like, you know, like perfect, everything, like, you know, all that. So I give them all this history on it. And then when you're talking to them, right? I just come by and say that, hey, these stars are dope. Like, right away, I automatically say that already.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you're not tattooing today? Your appointment canceled? What the fuck? I go, why'd you tell me? I would have got tattooed by you. Then I leave. All right? And then now this person's like, what? Yeah, appointment?
Yeah.
Dude, I go, dude, you are so lucky that he's free today. You usually have to wait like 3 or 4 months before you get tattooed for him. This is not even looking at your portfolio or nothing. And then boom, so she's excited or he's excited. not looking at your portfolio or anything, and then boom, you're one down. And so I did that to everybody in front of me.
Would your after you did it so many times, would the other artists catch on and do the same?
It's too late.
They wouldn't reciprocate it to you?
Because by the time they catch on, you already booked out for 3 to 4 months. Okay. You don't need it no more.
Where did you learn this? On sales, or you just?
I just started out. I maybe I'm not sure. I just figured like, how do I get this guy out of my way? That's really what it comes down to. Yeah. This guy's in my way. He's not good at selling or maybe even tattooing. You know, like he's all right. He's learning. I got to get this guy out of my way so I can make appointments. So after that happens, then I would have a rule in my mind was like, say the shop opens from like 12 to 8. So from 12 to 4, I won't tattoo. I would just schedule appointments only, no matter how many people walk in. So I would still play the game. So like, somebody walks in, you're tattooing now, right? Everybody's tattooing. I would turn over. It's like, oh, I guess you guys are all busy. Boom. And then I would help this person out, schedule an appointment.
Just stack them.
Yeah. And then if you ask me, hey, how come you didn't tattoo? And they wanted to make an appointment instead.
It's like that delayed gratification. Yeah. You like delay getting the money right now so you could get it later on.
Yeah. And you still get a deposit. Yeah. It's not like, you still get $100 deposit, right? And the way I do the deposit is like people back in the day are so scared of like, can you leave $100 deposit? So what I would do is I would get $100, I would staple on their appointment. So I wouldn't even spend the money. So when I pull up my calendar, I start from the beginning, I flip hundreds in their face the whole time.
So you made it seem like you were super busy.
No, yeah, and everybody's leaving a deposit. Even you're leaving a deposit too. So you flip all these hundreds, they're like, I guess I have to leave 100 too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Boom.
Damn, dude.
On.
So visually, they saw the 100, they're like, oh, I'm going to leave 100.
Yeah.
That's smart. I like to highlight that because this is a business podcast too.
Yeah.
You did some subtle things that maybe you don't even know that that exist, but this is what we talk about. Like, you showed emotion about the tattoo.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the star and you said, bro, I like stars.
Yeah, I like everything.
I like everything you said.
Yeah, 2 dots, 1 dot.
Show emotion because the client's coming in with the design and they've been thinking about this. You know what I'm saying? And then for the artists on the opposite side to say, bro, this is what I like to do. If you're genuine about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, just react genuine and tell them that. And they would have even more, what's the word? I always lose it. Ganas, like more.
They'd be more enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic, thank you.
Yeah.
Enthusiastic about getting the tattoo.
Yeah.
And then you also added like scarcity, you know what I'm saying? Like how you told them like, I had an appointment, but it got canceled. You're lucky you just got in.
Yeah.
Now they feel like, man, I better jump in this deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was techniques that I'm hearing it from you, bro. And you probably in your own mind just said, I need to twist it a certain way. But there are actually sales techniques that people talk about on YouTube. Yeah, there's a lot.
And then the other thing, when I worked at Sideshow and we were all broke. We're all broke there. I would come by like you're tattooing. Like, oh, dude, like, that's a pretty good tattoo, man. You better tip them out. So I say it like that. And you better tip them out. And the whole shop was like, every client in the shop now, like, oh shit, we gotta leave tips.
Yeah. That actually works as well.
Yeah. So I do that every day.
It's like a call to action. You know what I'm saying? And now they think like, oh man, they expect that tip. I better tip them. And boom.
Yeah.
If you never brought it up, they're not gonna do it.
Yeah. And that shop taught me a lot too. Like I don't I'm battling against these badasses in the shop. And so people like will walk by. There's I think at that time was 11 tattoo shops on the boardwalk in Venice Beach. There was the same amount of tattoo shops with t-shirts on the boardwalk.
Wow.
Yeah. And then so like I would have to sit in the front and just listen to people's conversations. Like, oh, let's get a tattoo like that. That's all I say. But when hey, what's up? Like, you getting a tattoo? And then I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah. And then no, we're just thinking about it. I go, dude, like I know you're thinking about it. That's perfect because you should come check us out. So when you decided to get it, at least you know where to go to, right?
Damn.
You dropped the seed. Drop the seed in there.
Yeah, that was sell for everybody. Even like Mike Cho, he used to work there at Sideshow. He's like, bro, they talk about piercings. And because I figure if they do piercing, they're going to get tattoos, right? Because that's why piercing and tattoos shops are together. So I'm like, oh, you want a piercing? Oh, Mike Cho, dude, he's been here since like the 1990s, bro. Like, you want to get a piercing from the person that's like in the game this long? You want to just get it from this newbie down the street, you know? So I do all that stuff. I think that's like, to me, it's more important than tattooing, honestly. Like, I think like sales is more like at least 60-70% because I've seen tattoo artists where they could sell the crap out of a tattoo and not even be that good and still make money.
Damn.
Yeah. compared to someone that's really good and fucking doesn't know how to talk to people. You know?
Yeah. So.
No, I like what you said, man. That's all we talk about right here. Like it has to be, your tattooing has to be on point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To back it up.
And then you got to learn how to sell, because ultimately you're trying to convey that you're the best person for that artist, you know? And nobody's going to learn it right away. There's a process in learning and observing. And the fact that you just decided to like observe how clients walked in, what are they thinking about, waiting for that right time just to go in, and you actually sold them without selling them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I really believe, you know? And another thing too, like I see a lot of tattooers don't do, it's like they don't ask why they left. Why did that client leave? Or hang up the phone, you know? Because that means you messed up. Yeah. If you consider yourself a professional and you have good intentions and give them the best piece that you can give that person, why do you allow them to leave and go to some other person? You know, that means you didn't give them enough knowledge for them to understand that you are probably gonna get the best tattoo from me, and my type of personality is really rare. That's why you should see it. That's why I feel. You know, so they should leave with something, and then that way, like it's hard for them to pick. I'm willing to pay a little more, but at least this person seems like they're interested and they know exactly what you're getting, all that stuff. And I think like a lot of people like lose out on that. Versus like, it's $50. You know. Yeah.
So, I agree. A lot of times the people are already set on getting a tattoo. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the price is not the issue. It's just they were maybe they had a budget with them, but in their mind, you didn't convince them well enough that, this is the place to get the tattoo. That you're the artist for them. You know?
Yeah,
we don't ask those questions.
That's the worst feeling. There's been multiple times because I'm learning this. This is all new to me too, and of course they help me out. But when the walk-in comes in, and I'm doing my thing, and they walk out, and the walk of shame, and they're like, what happened? What happened, bro? You didn't walk of shame? You didn't close the deal?
There shouldn't be no shame in it because you're learning, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not used to it, salesmen go to door knocking all day long, and they do the walk of shame, walking up, but throughout all those times, they learn. Unfortunately, we don't get that many walk-ins as a salesman does, so we can't practice it as much.
Go ahead.
I was like, but you could still do what Sam was saying. Like, you still look back and be like, okay, what did I do wrong? Now fix it.
Or even like a phone call. They're like, how much for like a hand-sized piece on the phone, black and gray, like I don't know, like a skull, right? Like, are you gonna give the price over the phone? You know,
tell them come over here, experience the whole thing.
Yeah,
just have them sit on the couch, give them some water, some coffee. Walk them around and show them a little bit.
That's like you gotta give them a full consultation, right? Because that's really what it is. Like, you can give them a price for sure, but the thing is, like, they're gonna look at you as a number. Like, I'm gonna go down the list and call these other shops too at the same time, right? Yeah. So you're like, no, I would give you a number, but it's kind of be like $10,000 because I'm gonna imagine the craziest thing that for that size, right? I'm gonna do $1 at a time, and I'll make it very worth it for you, right?
Yeah.
Or you come in and let me see what you really want and see if I can do it better and see if I could do it better, like add-on stuff, or see if I can give you a better price. If maybe you're thinking the price is like $10,000, but it's only $1,000, whatever. So I never give the price over the phone. Say, hey, come by. Like, I hate to give a number, then it ends up being like way off.
Yeah, it's not adequate to what they want.
Yeah.
Plus, at that point, you can see what kind of type of client he is too.
Yeah.
If you want to even work with him.
Yeah, the vibing, right?
Yeah.
As I'm hearing you, I'm sorry, Rob, but as I'm hearing you say that, man, what would be awesome, like as somebody who's just starting, if they would just like take like a sales job halfway through their apprenticeship. So they can learn, you know what I'm saying? So they can learn how to sell, and they would just be beasts after tattooing because
Carlos Torres taught me like back in the days too. He says, Ethan Morgan, he says, Carlos used to sit in the back. He told me, he's like, he used to sit in the back and then he would just like draw, and then people come up and he's like a little nervous talking to them too, like, not knowing what to do. And the way he sells, this is what he told me back in the days. He would hold a drawing sketchbook, and while he's talking to him, so what do you want? And he starts drawing right there.
Oh, shit.
And then like he starts saying, hey, this is something like this, all right? And because he did that, now there's an obligation because you made him spend time to draw something for you.
And time invested.
Yeah, time invested. They said they're going to give it to you anyways.
It reminds me of what this guy does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's one of his thing they used to do back in the day. So I pick up all that little things,
Oh, yeah.
One of the things we talked about doing, and it just almost closes all the time, is just grab a big pen and start drawing on their skin.
Oh, yeah.
What they want.
Yeah.
Create it. Also, you wanted this Aztec here. Okay, let's draw it right here. And you start drawing it as best you can, obviously. Mm-hmm. and taking some general ideas and then just go check it out in the mirror.
Yeah.
And they see it, and now they see the sizing, they see the placement, and 9 times out of 10, they're just ready to make the deposit.
Maybe like Wednesday or Thursday, right?
You
always have to ask those questions, right? Yeah, that's another thing. It's like I come from sales, so you cannot ask like, "Do you want it?" You gotta say, "What do you prefer, Wednesday or Thursday?"
Yeah. Does Thursday work for you?
Yeah.
It's never a what if question, right?
Yeah, you cannot make it an ending question. Like it just stops. If they say no, then the no a couple more times.
Caller did that to me the other day, man, selling solar. So what is a good time? So Thursday's a good time to go see you? I was like, I'm not interested. You know?
Yeah. Hey, why are you not interested?
So tell me why not? Leave me alone.
It's like, I got to talk to my wife. Like, oh, so you don't wear the pants in your house? Like, that's how we used to say. Yeah.
That's all sales stuff, man. Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, one of my last sales job, they said if the customer doesn't call and cuss me out, that means you didn't do your job.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's what they say. Like you have to say no 5 times.
You have to be persistent.
Yeah. Five no's is a no. That's what they say.
And a lot of artists don't put the sales as a big factor. They think that's just their work is going to sell itself.
Yeah.
You know? And unless you're the ultimate tattoo artist in the world, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not going to be the case.
Unless people are flying in to see you, right?
Yeah.
Or even then, like those artists that do have people flying in to see them, they already did all that work beforehand.
They put the groundwork for a long time. Yeah. And it's not even that important. Like I realized that too, like during my career, like the fame I never really cared for the fame because the fame doesn't pay my bills. It's the people that are in your neighborhood pays your bills. They're the one that comes in and it's like, why are you treating like football players more special than the person, like the mom that walks in and wants their daughter's signature, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those are the people that pay your bills and they're the one that's speaking your name in your neighborhood in this area. So I give a lot of love for the people where I work at.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because it's true. They're going to give you way more business, revolving work, within that neighborhood than that football guy that just came once and he gave you clout. You know what I mean?
And it's hard to work with those guys. I don't even work with those guys. Like, I'm not talking football players, but like if you work with like celebrities and stuff like that, I don't do that often. But it's on their time. It's not on your time. They're like, I got 5 hours. So,
and then you end up canceling someone just to like.
No, they'll fly you in and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like they have a certain amount of time because they have like all these schedule and they fit you in the schedule. And it's like, hey, can you do this half sleeve in like 4 hours? You know what I mean? And you're like, fuck, like,
I just stenciled in 3 hours, bro.
My setup's already an hour, bro. Yeah.
No, that is very true.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never tattooed anybody famous, but I think sometimes we misunderstand which one's the value to clients, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I always value the people walking in the door. Like, that's my number one.
You mentioned something about what you call yourself, and I thought it was smart. I never thought about it like this.
A machine builder.
No, you had mentioned about consultation. You're a consultant.
Yeah,
Can you explain
more
on that? Because a lot of young artists that follow us would love to hear this.
Yeah, because you're the professional, right? You say you're a tattoo artist. I mean, your job is to give them the best recommendation, like how to fill up your skin, what kind of tattoos they should get, how big they should get it. Mm-hmm. You're the one giving all the recommendation, right? So to me, it's like part of my sales too is like, let's say they want like just a butterfly on their arm. Right, and I'm always upselling. I don't care what it is. If it's a star, whatever, a dot, I'm upselling next. What do you get next? Maybe I want to do it. If I like it, I'll give you a special price because I want to do it. You know what I mean? So that's the way I play. So then it fills up the arm. Like you end up being more committed. So your job is to like say like, hey, like if you're planning to get a sleeve, like getting something right here kind of blocks this area. Mm-hmm. And to me, this is one of kind of a prime area too. So why don't we work that in with the next piece already? And that way, like, this becomes part of the next piece versus like just being a butterfly.
Yeah.
So that's my approach on everything. And it's like, and then I'm not really particular like, oh, that's my artist, my client. I don't do that. I think that's kind of bullshit because I don't own anybody's skin. Your job is to have them be loyal to you if they are loyal to you, right?
Yep.
So that's how I approach it. I just treat them like it's a really, you're the professional. You should give a good consultation. You should ask them everything about their tattoo, what they plan to get done, how big they're going to get it, how far they plan to get it. You should find out all that information before you even like start that tattoo,
I like that. One thing that I do when I build my sleeves up with artists, with clients, I should say, is that when we're like halfway, you take breaks and they stand up and they go look at it in the mirror.
Yeah.
I'm always like giving them ideas and I'm hyping it up.
Yeah.
But they're genuine ideas that I think they would look cool. So I said, man, if we start the lower half, right?
Yeah.
And we're working on it, and let's just say it's a Greek statue, just for the sake of the example. Yeah. When they stand up and they're looking in the mirror, I'm like, and I'll say, what would look cool if we added this big spine right here, just big, massive, or just put it all together. So I'm planting ideas, and then whether they want that design or not.
Yeah. But I feel like the seeds are already
planting seeds so that they can say, you know what, I might come back for that other one.
Yeah.
I do it in the middle when they're tattooing. When I'm tattooing them.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you already thinking about your next one? Like, yeah. Like, all right, cool. Good. Like, I think this would be dope if we do this, this, and that.
Yeah.
But even like when we're designing like bigger pieces, I always tell them like, all right, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to leave a break here so I can connect your next piece over here. So just throwing little subtle hints there, and then keep that conversation going throughout the whole day actually helps them just keep it in your head. And then hit them up a week later. Like, how's the tattoo doing?
Yeah. When do you want to schedule for the next one?
Yeah. So I know we were talking a lot about tattooing, but I know you were doing a magazine, right?
I owned a magazine for a little bit, for like 4 or 5 years. And it was a vape magazine, and it was just to help my boy out and, like they have him be positive and doing positive things. And he's actually he's like my brother. He's a real like business person. Like I learned a lot from him. People just throw money at him all day. Like people talk to him and he's like, oh, here, bro, here's my check and I want to do business with you,
Damn.
Yeah, so he was the original owner of Big Buddhist Tattoos. And then I ended up buying into Big Buddhist Tattoos before it closed down. And then me and him are still working since. We're still doing business together and everything. So, yeah.
That's cool. So that's when you got that shop?
He got the shop first. He got the shop first. And then it was just a regular, like a tattoo shop. It was really nice, actually. He had like chairs from like Alice in Wonderland, the movie. Because he's connected to like people in Hollywood and stuff like that. So it has a foosball table, has a hat rack, it can sell hats and stuff like that, and it has 5 stations actually. Yeah, it was really legit. It's really nice. Yeah, he put in like $80,000 to build it at that time.
Damn.
Yeah. At that time, probably a lot of money.
Yeah.
Man.
So the magazine, what ended up happening with that? You ended up getting rid of it, or
you ended up selling it. I got really burnt out by it. I was doing like a lot of things. I became a part-time writer, part-time photographer, and it was taking a toll. I was tattooing full-time, full appointments every day, tattooing 6-8 hours a day, on top of working on the magazine, doing the layout with the layout guy. So it took a toll on me. And then I was happy it was sold, actually. I was really like grateful that I was like, damn, I was like, thank you. I needed that break. And then at that time, I started building machines too. And it was because of Juan Taller. He's the one that showed me. He was really big on Tim Hendricks at that time. And he showed me a video of Tim Hendricks commercial. It's still on there. It's like, my name is Tim Hendricks. I make handmade tattoo machines. You ever watch it? And I looked at that. I was like, dude, like, can you pause right there? And boom. And then I was like, dude, I'm building a machine next week. Just like that. Next week, I had a machine up.
Really?
That was the best machine I ever owned. Because I refused to spend money on machines at that time. Like being I would make good money, but I refused to buy. Right? I was like, buy a gun or buy a tattoo machine, right? And I was like, the gun sounds better. You know what I mean? At least I really looked at it like everything is the same. Like all machines are the same, but it's really not. But yeah, so back to the magazine. I had the magazine for 4 years and we sold it. And then after that, I started building machines.
How does it feel to be able to start like a project like a magazine? Because I'm pretty sure that's hard to do, is to start it up and then be able to sell it.
To me, it wasn't as hard because I had my partner right there. My partner was really the one that worked the magazine.
Oh, okay.
I was really mainly like the if shit goes wrong, go call Sam type of guy. Like, oh, we need product shots. We just fired the photographer. We're gonna buy a camera and then Sam's gonna figure it out type of thing, So I was that guy. I was never like doing the sales. My partner did all the sales, collecting the money, managing the money. He was in charge of all that, And then my job was to help manage the tattoo shop because I knew more about the tattoo industry more. And slowly that became like the magazine became a full-time thing, plus managing the shop, plus tattooing full time, and then I started picking up 2 kids. I ended up adopting like a couple of kids on top. So I'm like,
damn, bro.
Yeah,
it's like to stack up things in your life.
It got really crazy at that time, you know. So yeah, so I was kind of relieved when it was over, you know. Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about like owning a tattoo shop. Like, what were the struggles?
It's actually really rough because I come from a professional background. I came from corporate, right? So and then I don't know, it's like an Asian mentality where we think like just business all the time. But I approach the tattoo shop like it's a business. Like I like people coming. Our shop open at 2:00 and everybody's late every day. It's like if you open at 12, they home at 1. If you open at 2, they come at 3. And that's like a normal thing. And since we only have 4 guys, 2 guys end up paying their booths, so they come whenever they want. And one guy was like, you know, he's supposed to show up and take care of the walk-in, and he's late all the time too. Mm-hmm. So that part was kind of hard. And then like when I opened a vape magazine and the vape shop inside the tattoo shop, like it was kind of took negative in the tattoo industry because it's like, why are you opening a vape shop in the tattoo shop? Why can't you just keep it all tattoo shop?
Yeah.
And then my recommendation to fix that was put in 2 more stations. Put in 2 more stations to compensate for the vape shop. Then we'll close the vape shop. And the minute I said that, the artists panicked. They're like, no, bro, like we're doing good right now.
Oh, they liked it after all?
No, they like the fact that they're making money from the walk-ins, right? Because now, like, if you open 2 more stations, now they have to split the walk-ins.
Have to split the walk-ins.
And then since a lot of them don't know how to sell, so they're gonna like, let's say they meet like 4 people, they'll get 1, right? For me, if I meet 4 people, it's probably 3.
Yeah,
because I will sell the crap out of them, you know.
Yeah.
So because of that, so they're like, oh, now we need to try harder. Now we're splitting less. I know we're going to take a dent in our pockets. So they voted no, said no. And then I was trying to make them happy because there was a lot of tension at that shop at that time. And then, so we didn't do it. We didn't put 2 more stations. And then we decided, you know what, we're just going to let the shop go, right? We ended up selling the shop later. The shop's still there. Actually, the shop's still there. I think somebody just opened it again for the 4th time or something in downtown Fullerton.
Same name?
It's different name. Yeah, but it's like the
location.
4th owner or something at that location.
Quick interruption here from the podcast, guys. I know you're listening to it right now, but I just want to let you guys know, if you guys are looking for a tattoo in the Fontana area or Inland Empire, check out our website. Josh is going to tell you guys a little bit more about our website.
Yeah, so if you want to check out our website, go on iconictattoostudio.com. You can check out all the artists that we have here at the shop on there. If you want to set up an appointment with one of them, you can fill out the consultation form and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Have you seen the 3D models?
No, I heard Richie talking about it, right, or something.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Tell me if you can't sell with the 3D model. So you could put their image on.
Oh, shit.
And you could be like, look, this is how we're going to do your plan. This is your game plan, bro. You know, I'm going to draw this right here. And then it's going to come in as this much. We want to go big so that, you know, we cross your shoulder so it can look badass. Imagine your shoulder like this, dude, and walking around. Look how sick that would look.
Yeah.
And then you install emotion. You know, I got a cover up that I just sold because I told him I took a picture of his cover up. It's a fucking nautical star.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Big. And then he has another one here. Right?
Oh, wow.
He didn't say yes at the moment when I sold him one.
Yeah.
But I said, look, what I'm gonna do, I opened this up and I said, I'm gonna put your tattoo on here, right? I'm gonna crop it and put it in here, and then I'm gonna work around your design.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it look around your tattoo. They're like, oh, I'd never seen this before.
Yeah.
So he calls me back in 2 days and he says, let's book it. 2 days, back to back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we have to use these tools to close. And that's why I think
you have to use everything, right?
Everything. Your personality, your tone of voice, some excitement. If you're just going, oh man, that's like a full day session, 800. Yeah. They're going to be like, bro, this is my permanent tattoo. Be excited about it. I'm choosing
for $800, you're going to be that quiet. Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying? I have my best friend. So he's really a friend of mine. He's a good tattoo artist, but he doesn't talk. He would sit 8 hours straight without one word. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Are you still there, bro? Like, you know?
But not everybody should be like that, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's...
But he's not successful. The right way. He's not successful.
But if you want to move to a different level, if you're tired of making 30, 40... To make $50,000 in a year tattooing is fucking easy. Easy. But if you want to hit that 100,000 to 200,000, you have to do something different. Yeah. And you have to elevate your game. You know? Damn, did we start already? We started already? Oh, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. I don't know what's in this juice from the Great Nutrition.
You just sold me.
This is fire.
Covering my nautical star right now.
Hey, shout out to the Great Nutrition place on Instagram, guys. They always hook us up with these drinks. Carlos, well, you don't have a mic, but he likes it. So I think we'll be drinking this more. What do you think about it?
I need some tequila.
It does need tequila, but it has something in it that is just bomb, and it just gives us some like little energy.
It has like energy in it. It's fucking some protein.
We'll put it on there.
Supposed to be healthy.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to it. But you know what I mean? Like, I've learned a lot through YouTube, of course, and me just selling myself here. And I always question, like, why didn't I get that sale?
Yeah.
Why did they walk away? Like I said everything. Yeah. It could be as easy as, you know what, they need to think about it. They weren't 100% sure coming in. Or it could be that maybe they had a budget and I'm past their budget, but that's okay. Yeah. You know?
A lot of times, like, one of the things I learned from this sales job I had before was like, money should be the last thing you talk about. Yeah. And then the sale starts when they said no, or I'll think about it, or the different ways of saying no. That's when the sale starts. The sale does not start when you're explaining. Mm-hmm. The sale starts when you say Wednesday or Thursday. That's when the sales start. And then it's like, well, I got to talk to my wife, or I got to check my bank account or stuff like that. Then you have to have the answer for that. I say, I have to check my bank account. You say, how much you got? Yeah. You know, how much can you afford?
So what's your budget?
Yeah, maybe we can work on the outline now. At least you have it all mapped out, and then you can slowly finish your tattoo. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, but if you spend it all at once, to me, it's a little bit cheaper because like you're coming back multiple sessions, right? Yeah. So that's really what I found out. That's one thing I learned from this other sales job that I did was like, you do not talk about money ever until the end. When you throw the number out, it's going to cost like $1,000 probably.
After you build up this whole story of how amazing it's going to be, and they already have it in their head now, then you kind of throw it in there.
And it's so hard to know. It's so hard to say no because they see that you invested like 10, 15 minutes of your time. Yeah. You're kind of drawing, you're pulling out your computer, right? And then now you're like, so it's gonna be $1,000, and then you're like, I wasn't planning to get it right now. It's like, and then it's like, when are you planning to get it? Wow. Let's leave with $100 deposit now and put it in the calendar. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You should always go for the close no matter what. It should always go back. Let me get your $100 and let's schedule you in. And you have to believe it too. Like you are doing them a favor. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to take their money and that's it. Because it's not about that. Because it's long term. It's not short term.
Do you find yourself teaching this same concept we're just talking about to other artists lately, or no?
No, because I've been working with myself.
Oh, you by yourself?
Yeah. But when I was at the shop, they didn't believe me. Right. They say, well, it's like. They always say that, I have fucking, my art skill is going to sell everything. Yeah. And I've seen like plenty of great artists that nobody knows about, So to me, it's like, that don't mean shit. And then I see my homie in Venice, he'll tell you, he was like, I don't even tattoo that good. He used to say like this badass saying, goes, you know what's the difference between me and you? And I was like, what? He's like, the difference between you is I know I suck. That's what he would say. He doesn't do crazy shit. He does like simple stuff. You know what I mean? But he was right. But he closes deals, bro. He would do like 200-300 tattoos when I'm starving, just because he was such a good salesman.
Would you ever go to him and like, how do you do it, or you just observed him?
I observe him. I know why people go to him. He looks like a tattooer. He looks like
that also plays a big part.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He has long hair, tattoos all over his face, Yeah. He's very you talk to him, he's very exciting, you know what I mean? Like he's
a great personality, basically.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with his art skill. He doesn't have a portfolio. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah.
You get that guy in the pocket. How can you do it, bro? Yeah. But that is your sales game, your personality, your voice, your tone of voice. All that matters when we talk in a consultation. It matters a lot. There's a reason why we have in our shop, 2 couches like that is so that we tell our artists, hey, bring them over, let them sit down, let them relax, and then talk to them, hear them out. Yeah. And then that's where you can justify, your price, you know what I'm saying? And listen to them and hear their tattoo. And then at the end of the day, they should go for it. For most of the part, we're all here seeing it all the time. People do jump into the price, Yeah. Of course, we're going to have those no's, but that's always the name of the game. If we said, I don't know any shop that closes every.
You're not going to close everything, but the main thing is like you have to gather all the information. if you don't gather all the information, then you throw out the price, then you already lost.
Yeah,
like if you say how big do you want it, where do you want it, what else you planning to get, it's gonna be in color. Like you have to ask all those questions and all that stuff. And by that all that time, and then if they cut in and say how much is it gonna cost, I just want to know the price.
Yeah.
I go, I can't give you then you say, I can't give you a real price because I need more information, right? And you lead it back to your script, right? That they have to answer all these questions for you to give them a price. That's the deal. And then, for you should think about that. And then when you give the price, and then all right, and sometimes like, nah, it's good, it's too much. And then you try to hold them back, say, well, what's too much for you? Like, how much time do you think this is gonna take? I'm thinking like it's gonna take like 5-6 hours. So technically, you're actually getting a plus because usually I charge like $200 an hour, and I'm giving you for $150, right? Something like that.
Yeah. So, I'm telling you, bro, you should start your own.
Yeah.
Your own.
So you have to keep pushing, man. They're not walking out the door. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
and go with that mindset. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this. Client. I'm gonna get this client.
Yeah. Because you have to think. I mean, honestly, the minute they leave, they're gonna get a shitty tattoo for somebody else. Yeah.
So what do you do when it's like you want to sell this client, but their idea is not how do you change their idea around? Like saying, again, you say the consultation.
Yeah. So most of the time, because I like to do my artwork, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I stress out a lot on every tattoo, even when it's really small. I spend like hours, right? Sometimes, right? And then, so what I do is like, I said, dude, I really like your picture. I'll be more than happy to do your picture. But all I ask is for me an opportunity to do a better picture that I feel that I think I could do better. But if you still like the old picture, I'll do it. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, and then other people think, I hear like, even like the younger guys, they talk crap, that, oh, just fucking like, they're not even artists, just fucking copy shit. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with that. I think like, if you can't do better than the picture, then you should do the picture. Like, why are you trying to do your artwork when you know that it's not, hopefully you know that it's not better than the picture that they brought in. Yeah. Right? So do them the service and say, hey man, that picture was already good. It might be done by another tattooer or even another person that drew it. That's fine. I have no issue with that. Mm-hmm. My problem is that somebody brought in a picture and you did a worse job. And I think that's like a disservice for the client.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you one question, because you're a pretty observant person as far as in your career, based on what you told us. The greats that came across your life, right? Like Carlos Torres and all those other guys. Yeah. What in common do they have that you caught on that they do in the industry?
I don't know. Like practice wise, or like
just in their their tattooing, or what did you notice something like?
Everybody gives me like a little gift. I feel like
was there something in common that you saw? Oh, that's all the greats do this.
I think it's the contrast. I think that's the most common thing that all of them talk about. It's like when you do a tattoo, you have to exaggerate the contrast a little more, because like when I first started hanging out with like Carlos and Josh Duffy that time, they would like load the image in the Photoshop, right? And they would massively increase the contrast up, just because your skin is like not purely white. Like a lot of our skins, right? It's like a little more brown. Yeah. So it's hard for us to get like a full contrast. So their approach would be like more contrast. But then like even I look at Pine stuff, Pine is a totally different tattooer than Carlos. Like Carlos Torres, he would like shade first and outline last. Mm-hmm. Then Pine would like outline first and shade last. So, and they have a totally different approach, and Pine relies on like the background and the outline to make the contrast. Carlos requires, like to me, I feel like he chooses like very dramatic lighting in all his pieces, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what makes the contrast, But it's still based on the contrast. Even Japanese, right? You do Japanese where you do the darker background. If the main piece is in color, the background's darker, right? If the main piece is darker, then the background's lighter, right? Mm-hmm. So,
what about what do you see in common when they're dealing with like people though?
They're all salesmen, man. At the end of the day, they're all salesmen. Yeah. But with like because it depends on where you met them in their lives, right? Like Carlos, I was lucky to meet him before he got famous. So I get to see part of him selling other people, bringing out a sketchbook and drawing in front of people and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. When I met Pine, like he was already famous. Like there was a line for him always, So I think that's one of the things I ask a lot of artists too. Like, how do you make it? It's like, it's just that they're selling. They were a good salesman, period. They didn't work the shop like the way I did because I wasn't famous or anything. Yeah. So I was like trying to manipulate everybody so I get my appointments because I did appointment setting for many years of my life, you know? So I knew like that was part of my thing. But yeah, so I would say that's probably the most thing in common. They were already good salesmen. They were all friendly. They were all, they all catered to their clients. They all bought food for their clients. They always talk nicely. Like they became their friend. They know their families. Like it was like that, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think that's what they have all in common.
I guess what you said is that they're all aware that in order to build a community of clients, you know, they had to step it up with customer service and sales, you know?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. Because we're in the business of keeping clients, really. Like we're trying to keep and add on, right? Mm. So if you're not doing that, that means you're burning your neighborhood pretty much. You're just burning your shop.
I think that's one thing I try to do personally. Like I try to remember, at least for me, every person that comes in, I try to remember one thing about them. So next time they come in, I can bring it up and continue that conversation that we had before.
You're better than me. I'm really bad at that.
No, it's hard because especially because my book. There's so many people, but for some reason, when I see their tattoos, I get that glimpse of like what we were talking about before, and then I just bring it up again. You know? Same thing.
Before the cameras went on, we asked you what got you back into tattooing, remember? And how was it? You said it was easy because you still had people waiting for you.
Yeah,
right?
I do. I have I would say like 10 to 20 people from like 10 years ago that stopped getting tattooed that still want to get tattooed by me. Like they like probably half of them stopped getting tattooed because they said, I don't want to get tattooed by anybody else. I'm never gonna have the same experience. Mm-hmm. And I think the shop when I owned it was very unique because like I was like, don't tip me, bro. I was like, they're gonna try to tip me, and I was like, I felt kind of bad charging them $1,000, $800. I felt kind of guilty, like, I think you're gonna give me $900 on top, right? So I take the money, I would buy them lunch or go buy a steak or whatever. I would spend all of it on them, you know. And me too, right? Because I'm eating the meal. But a lot of them actually, like, our shop was pretty sick. Like, we eat together. Like let's say, like, my client usually brings, like, a pot of menudo or something like that. And I said, hey, bro, we eat together, the family. So we eat together. Mm-hmm. And then everybody stops tattooing. All the customers stop. And we set up a big spread on the middle of the room. And everybody eats together as a group.
So,
yeah. And that's how it was like in the beginning. You know, later on, then the drama starts building between the artist and all that, and then even the sales affected the shop. Like when you have one person not closing deals, it's like the other guy starve. So like for a week, there's a week where nobody tattooed at all.
Is that because that person is like that not closing the deals is still burning those?
They're burning every client.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like out of nowhere too. He was just like, he felt that he was good, and then he was like, my minimum is 150 now, you know, and he didn't pass on and say, hey, my minimum is 150. Let's say the other person's minimum is like $80 or 100, whatever. He didn't want to pass it on. He didn't say, hey, my minimum is 150, but you can feel free to check out the other people, right? Mm-hmm. And at that time, it wasn't common to do that. It's it was like, this is mine. It's my turn, right?
Mm-hmm. Doggy dog world.
Yeah. So for a week or two, nobody. The only person that tattooed was me because I had like 5 months of appointments, but everybody else ended up starving.
Yeah, because you're taking all the deposits, man. I think that's a good point. I think it falls on the leadership of the shop because here, when we get leads for artists that are like higher on the rate, if they say no, if the client says no, I'm not interested. We always pass them down. Yeah. You know, we shouldn't let that client leave.
Yeah, keep it in the shop.
I'm not within your budget. That's cool. You know, what is your intended budget? Well, it's this. Well, just matter of fact, I got these X artists that can meet your needs and they're great. And I vouch for them because, you know, this and that. Yeah. So I'm giving already the strong referral, even though they wanted to work with me. And it's happened here where now I see the people that come in and they said, oh, I asked for you. I'm like, I understand. I appreciate that, but you're in the right hands as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For that price that you were willing. If you want to go and spend a little bit more, then come to me. But I think it boils down to the leadership, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And telling all the artists that's because everybody's growing, you know? And it's just, everybody can eat. You know what I'm saying?
And the sad thing behind that too is because like he was my friend. You know, I didn't end up having to let him go because he didn't want to chase it. No, my minimum was 150, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So if we end up letting him go, then it just ruins relationship. That's like the bad side of owning a shop, you know? It's like when you try to keep it as business and keep everything professional, especially nowadays where you can say, what the fuck do you want? You know? Like everybody has to be on the same page. If not, then it's just a cancer, you know?
Yeah, the spreads.
Yeah, we just had a meeting today and it was with all the whole crew for 2 hours, and it was great because we touched on everything.
Yeah.
And it's just, we feel like the communication is a lot better now. There's no rumors passing around. There's no concerns. Everything's put out there. I always told them, if you didn't talk, it's because then don't complain. You know what I'm saying? Communication is key, and it goes down to the leadership, you know? It's just a funny business, man. It's a funny business.
It's crazy.
Trip out. We're drawing on people in a room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
8,
we're not
10
selling
hours
shirts,
a day.
8 to 10 hours. There's a lot of shit that goes in within those 10 hours. Talking, you know, getting to know people, how the clients see how me and the other artists are interacting.
Yeah.
If we're just talking shit to each other, they're going to feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole experience in there that you have to analyze what's going on, and you have to refine it every day, and it never stops.
Yeah, it never stops.
It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, and back in the days, I do like back in the days to a degree too. Like, you know, like when I got hired at Sideshow, actually, the first question they asked me was like, "You know, fight, bro." That was the first. That was the first question.
Do you know how to fight?
You know how to fight?
Wow.
And it's like we fight all the time. I was like, well, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like I'm down. I used to fight all the time, but I try not to be a more peaceful person now. You know. But it was because like, at that shop, like they would like we would protect like the liquor store because the same owner.
Oh,
you know. So of course like, we had to chase down people like doing beer runs and all that stuff. But even at my other shop after that I worked at, I have to threaten artists too. That's one of the things. It's like if it's your turn to talk to a client and then they jump in front of you, you have to do something about it, right?
You
Like,
have to stand your ground.
Hey, I'm gonna let you have one pass. Next time we're gonna have to go to the back. I don't want to go to the back, but that's the way it is, bro. Like I'm taking my money.
You gotta go to the back, dog.
Yeah. And it's like that, man. And it's like that back in the days.
Fighter,
yeah. So thank God I only have to do it like one or twice, but they do it, man. The minute you let it run over it, boom, they're just gonna walk right in front of you. You know?
I love to hear those stories, man. It's so contrast of what.
Yeah, the industry is so different.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're talking in the break about how you practice tattooing, right?
Yeah, I practice a lot. I practice a lot of tattooing without tattooing. Even driving, really, too. I practice how to draw while driving. That's one of my main things. And I'll show you.
Say, what?
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine that.
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, because like when I met Pine is really the person that he didn't show me how to draw, but he made me like almost like get obsessed with why like he said certain things. Like he was like, he would point right here, like the lights right here, right? And then there's like this open spot right here on your cheek right here, right? And he just pointed out on one of his paintings, he's like, right here is the hardest thing to learn. It took me like 2 years to learn, and you did it in like 6 months. You know what I mean? And I was like, what? You know, and I'll sit there and I just tweak out on it. I was like, damn, what is he talking about? It's like, you know, he's from the old school too. So I think like he's just like giving me shit, like making me think about something that's not important. And pretty much like, you know, like if you talk about like drawing a face, right, you're just adding all these little clumps on top of the face. So this clump right here doesn't have nothing. It's just the flat part of your face. So a lot of time when a lot of artists, when they draw, they see like a little triangle shape and it's automatically shaped black or something like that. It's a fuck up. So now like if you're talking about lighting from like right here and it's like, it becomes like bright right here, lighter, darker, lighter, darker, lighter, darker. And then I realized like, you know, there's really only two planes. It's either light or dark side. That's why like I said, like I convert everything back to black and white and then convert it back to grays later. So, but when I practiced tattooing, when I first started tattooing, I was trying to figure out the drops. I don't know if you guys do the drop system, but I still do the drop system. So I was like, how do I do the drops and how do I master the drops while still practicing for drawing? So the way I do it is, I don't know why I can't do it with the naps, but with talons, I would take an ink, I would do my drops, and I would take one drop and drop it on a napkin and let it spread out. And usually that shade is the same as the skin. It's almost the same. So I would assign that shade to a pencil. Like, let's say that one drop is like a 6H, right? Mm-hmm. So I would take that 6H and put it in my thing. And I would do it to the rest of all my drops. And then so I would buy a full set. I would assign every drop to a certain pencil. And I would throw away all the other pencils, throw it in the trash. So I won't even attempt it to use it. And then, so now like when I draw, so I got this thing from the novel. The novel, when I did a collaboration with the novel, he said like, hey, you fucked up the paper, bro. You grabbed the wrong pencil and you fucked up the paper. And I was like, oh shit, it's kind of like tattooing. You grabbed the wrong drop. So you do a 3 drop and try to make it look like a 7 drop, and you're like shading the crap out of it. You're just hammering the skin, right? So how do I make it in one shot? So I would draw and I would say, I would pick up like a 6H and go, 1 drop. And then I would shade it in 1 try. No, like no repeat. I throw away, I don't have an eraser either. I would throw away the eraser because you can't erase on tattooing. So there's no erasing on drawing. So I would do that through the whole thing. So I'll pick up this one. Oh, this is a 3 drop. And I would shade it with that. And now it's 4 drop. And then you could see like how things blend together. Like, cause it's almost like whip shading. And then like, if you do like a 1 drop over everything, it kind of blends everything together too, which is a 6H pencil or a 4H. So I think that's how I did a 4H, 2H, H, a B and a 2B or something like that. That's usually my setup. And that's the pencil I carried on for like, I don't know, 8 years.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's tight.
That's a lot of work. But
yeah.
That sounds fun. I want to do that.
It makes you understand your shades, right? While you're tattooing.
Yeah, and then you only get 1 shot. So even when you're drawing, there's no erasing. You're just like, that is the shade. There's no adding on top. You can add on top, just it actually applies that too. But you're trying to get exact shading every single time on every area of the artwork, right? And then like, so I didn't know how to draw. I didn't understand lighting until I worked at Sideshow. I was 30 years old. I was the worst artist there. Like the worst. Couldn't even do a portrait, never did a portrait, you know, all that. Like did very simple stuff, ladybugs, old English, shit like that. And then I go, how do I practice lighting? And then like one day I was driving 45 minutes to Venice Beach. I see all these light poles. And I go, the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, right? So when I drive there, the lighting's on the left side. It hits the pole on the left side. And then you look at the pole and it's like one side is lit up, the other side is darker, right? And there's a gradient to it too, right? Depending on the time of the day. And then I was like, damn, that's kind of cool. Like, that's a very simple way to learn lighting, you know? And then I would draw like thousands of poles. When I figured it out, I would draw a whole bunch of it. And then what I do slowly is I start bending the pole. So I would draw like a straight one, and then I'll start bending it slowly, you know, to like that, to make it, see how far can you get it close to you, right? And then once you master that, you change the lighting, say, light from the bottom, light from the side, right? And then afterward, then you realize like after doing it so much that all the lighting is the same. It just rotated around, right? And then after that, I have to learn how to learn about shadows. So now I'm crisscrossing. So now I'm running pipes above pipes. And I would just scribble like this all over the paper. Then I would make it to a pipe. So one overlaps, one underlaps, one goes under, and then it casts a shadow. And then now you're forced to know how to do shadows.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
I had the same revelation the other day on Sunday. I was driving by with my kids, and I went to see a location that was just kind of like for lease.
Yeah.
And I looked up at it from where I was driving, and it was a cylinder, but each in the cylinder of the building had like rafters going out, like precise ones, right?
Yeah.
And it was at a certain angle, probably around 3:00. So it was the sun was coming this way.
Yeah.
And it's literally like a cylinder like this, right? But the rafters are coming out. But it was interesting to see the shadow line just came like this, and then it did like a C around the cylinder, right?
Yeah.
And that's because of this light hitting here.
Yeah.
And we don't draw it like that. You know what I'm saying? We'll copy that, but we won't understand why.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good idea to just draw whatever you see outside and duplicate it so that you learn why that cast shadow went like this, so that when you do, let's say you do a Greek statue, right? And then you add some of that Gothic architecture. That's very popular. If you learn how to do that shading based on what you learn outside, you can make your own lighting and make it look even more 3D because you study that lighting.
Or even like convert the lighting over to make the same lighting that matches the statue, right?
Exactly.
Versus like the thing on the side.
You can see one lighting is coming this way.
Yeah.
I had the same. I had the same issue the other day with a Gothic when I had to convert it.
And if you make it up yourself, there's less stress.
Yeah. And where does that come from? It comes from drawing a lot. And how often are we drawing buildings? You know, but yet a lot of people come in asking for architecture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's crazy thing is like graffiti artists, right? They do it all the time. Like graffiti should be like, if you do graffiti, right, you're doing these block letters, right? You automatically do one lighting. But when you tell them to draw a picture, they don't apply the same theory to the picture, you know, because they don't know how to convert it. Mm-hmm. You know, because you do like a block letter and you do the line down, you connect it, and it becomes like a box, right?
Right.
It's the exact same lighting. You know, if you really think of it, now you round out the curves.
Yeah.
It's the same, you know. It's just like nobody really sit there and just really think about it, you know.
I think that's the ultimate hack. You want to be a better tattoo artist? Draw 10 times what you draw now.
Yeah,
just draw everything.
Yeah, I would do that. I would go to Sideshow, and then I leave Sideshow at like 8:39. I would head straight to Starbucks, and I would sit there with the line paper at first because it's already lines, and I would shade that, and I would do a curved pipe all the way across, and a curved pipe. Then I would do a triangle one next. And I would do hundreds and thousands of those every day for 6 months.
Starbucks?
Starbucks
is the place, man. I used to go there and just draw people that were just there chilling.
And then the crazy part is after that, everybody's like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, how did you learn how to draw? Because they think like, I just go home. I was like, I don't go home, bro. Like, I'm 30 years old. You're 25. I got to catch up. That's the way I feel, you know?
Wow.
And so like after that, like Pine gave me, he's like, bro, like, what you learned, bro, it took me like 5 years.
Dude, I'm seeing his work, and he draws everything. This is Pint Oneer, right?
Yeah.
Bro. And
he draws everything.
Just different, like faces and...
We've been doing it for years too, huh?
Yeah.
And the fact that he puts it up, like, this is what I draw.
How long has he been tattooing for?
Dude,
he has
like
that
20,
skull,
30 years.
Like Gabe LeQuin type.
Well, he's the one that did the skull on, what's that little French dude? Little B?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He tattoos like 1 or 2 years after Casper did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Casper is the one that brought him in the game. Or actually, he was already tattooing, and Casper was the guy that bought him his first machine or something like that. Yeah.
It reminds me of a tip that Tony was telling me. He's like, when he's out in public, he'll see something that he likes and he pretends that he's tattooing it. How he would approach it.
Oh, yeah.
Tattooing it.
He's mentally tattooing it in his head.
Yeah.
So he's thinking about it. He's like, that's how you practice tattooing, because you're still practicing the technique in your head. And so when you're actually doing it, you know, it's just comes second.
Yeah, I used to like go up to cars, you know, because at nighttime, like I go home, I would like drive close to a car, and then the light, my headlights would bump off their bumper and hit the floor, and then it creates like a reflective lighting back to the bottom of the bumper, and then I would sit there and just analyze going back and forth on somebody's bumper all the way home, and then I was like, oh yeah, so the more intense the lighting, the more reflective lighting there is, you know, and then there comes all these rules, and like the other thing too, like when I did take some painting class back in the days, which I had no idea what the hell I'm doing, and the teacher said like, oh, you cannot use so much black, bro. All you do is like a little dot, and that stuck with me too, like all those little things, and I was like, why is that? You know, why is there only one dot? And then I go to another painter, it's like, oh, you can use a lot more black, right? And I was like, what the fuck? Like that doesn't make any sense, and that's. For a long time, that bothered me. Like, I didn't know, like, because I see, like, a lot of people that do, like, a lot of white in tattooing. And then one day I just saw a photo of Marilyn Monroe. I don't know if you see it at the mall. It's just, like, black. It's just, like, just shapes, right? And you know it's Marilyn Monroe. And then I go, oh, and that makes sense. So if you increase the contrast, the more contrast is more black, which is more white. So it's equal. So it's very fair. If you use a lot of black, you have to use a lot of white. If you it's all gray, there's really little black and little white, right? So
kind of follow the curves in a way.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's what I'm thinking. So let's say like if you're pushing black, because they like one painter was like, you know, you go through the tunnel and it's like you have to make the tunnel like darker, and then boom, that little dot is the end of the tunnel, right? I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then it's like and I look at the paint, it's like there's not that much white, and I just analyze stuff like that. It's just like.
You gotta break everything down.
I have to break everything down.
Yeah, I think as artists, we look outside unintentionally and we're like, oh, that's crazy how that light bounced off of that wall.
Yeah.
You know, and we're like, why did that cause that? You know, and if we study it more and more, we become better.
Yeah. So I study more photography more than I study art. Like if I'm just mainly focused on black and gray, my recommendation would be study photography because that's the realest. That's like the perfect black and gray, right? If you do high contrast photography, there's a lot of black. If you do like perfect timing, like 5, 6 o'clock, then there's a lot of grays, right? So to me, that's the perfect example of like how much gray to use, how much black to use, how much white to use, and I try to follow that rule.
I like that.
You know,
yeah, pretty observant, man. Let me ask you a question that we ask every interviewee.
Yeah.
Where do you see the tattoo industry in the next 20 years? Like, give us a picture of it.
Honestly, I don't really think about it. I'm more worried about where am I going to be in 20 years.
That's true. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you think in your opinion?
I think everything comes in waves, right? So I hope they go back to coils, because I'm doing coils, Yeah.
But you could, what you could do, because as you do coils, you can sell them as nostalgia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like maybe they're not using them, but maybe you're buying them.
They're terrified of them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're terrified of coil. They do it so loud and all that.
Yeah.
I could give you many reasons why to use a coil versus a rotary, but that's a whole different conversation. Yeah.
But in general, what do you think? It'll is it gonna get more competitive? Do you think?
Yeah,
What's
for
your
sure.
opinion?
I think the artwork's gonna elevate for
With
sure.
AI and everything.
Yeah, for sure. For now, I think everyone's gonna go with their AI route. Hey, can you draw me a butterfly, right? And then the AI is gonna pop it out, and it's gonna go off that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty legit. Yeah,
it is pretty legit.
Yeah, I just saw something on YouTube right now where how to start a sticker business with the AI, right?
Yeah.
And all he does is pump it out, and then my friends, I have one friend, he does a lot of Amazon shirt designs. I'm like, dude, why would you even draw now?
Yeah. Just create them.
Yeah, just say whatever the keywords, pop them out, throw it on Amazon, and try to make residual income from there.
I think you hit it on the spot.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be more opportunities for artists to have another type of income coming in with the technology that's coming in. It can't just be tattooing.
Yeah, and I don't see why they wouldn't either, because how many people are really that serious about drawing? On a real serious level, try to master lighting and master depth and master perception and all that stuff, or perspective and all that, right? How serious are they really?
Yeah.
When they say, hey, let this AI draw this thing real quick. At least they'll draw, at least the AI will probably draw better than they can.
Dude, some of the statue work that's coming out is on point with the lighting and everything, dude. The bounce lighting, everything.
Just gotta fix the hands.
Yeah. Just don't copy the hands.
Comes out with 7 fingers.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I think it's a good reference to have too. Let's say you do just custom stuff. Sometimes you have to figure out how to form this body, right? If you're gonna try to do that, and I can't do it. I'm not a good life drawing guy. That's one of my big weaknesses. I think that's the goal is to master that. For me.
Another question we ask is, what advice would you give artist that's just beginning and is becoming a tattoo artist? In his first year, what tips would you give him?
Listen to the previous artists and see why people leave. I think you should learn how to sell. I tell this to everybody I talk to, every apprentice I ever meet, every artist I meet. It's why aren't you busy? It's because you don't know how to sell. That's what I personally believe. I think I learned a lot from sales. Back in the day, you collect every phone number, right? At the shop. Your client comes in, and I don't even think that was my client, but I'll take the number just in case the owner fucked me over.
Yeah.
I'll fucking take him. But if the owner is cool, like the shop when I went to Big Buddha's, right? I didn't take any client. I declined everyone. I go back to that shop, because that's where I met you. And I sent them back, And then when I start fresh from the new shop because I respected the owner, But if the owner fucked me over, I'm taking everybody. I don't care. Fuck you. That's the way I feel.
Do you have any books that you recommend for sales? Or
my favorite book is How to Sell Anything to Anybody by Joe Girard. He's a professional car salesman that made $1 million selling cars back in the days.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain what book would. That book is just cool because that book, like the main thing I got out of the book is make sure your client remembers you 8 times out of the year. So what he does is the minute he has a client for selling a car, he would make Christmas cards, birthday cards. He would have his secretary do that.
Oh shit!
So 8 times a year, he would send out everybody has one birthday.
That's right.
And then he chooses a month that has no holidays, and then that would be everybody's birthday. And then he would send happy birthday to you on that day, and then he would send a happy Valentine's, happy Hanukkah, all that stuff. 8 times of the year. So
That's so dope. That's so smart.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I got from him. I never did it, because I've always been busy. But if I wasn't doing that, I would totally do that. Like if it was now, let's say like if I decided to drop everything and be a full-time tattooer and have nobody, I would cold call everybody on Instagram. That's what I would do. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, like I like your tattoos. You have you ready? Like, what are you planning to get your next piece? Maybe I could do something for you or something. I would think of something to say, and I would hit everybody. I would hit. I would say this is in Fontana. So I was like hashtag Fontana.
There you go.
Look for the most popular restaurant. Boom. I would go through the whole list, and I would hit everybody up. That's what I would do if you were that broke.
Yeah.
Because it would be direct, and then it's okay. You out of 100, you might get one.
But you don't say, "Hey, I want to tattoo you."
No, you don't. You don't say, "Hey, I'm in your neighborhood. Just want to say hi, introduce my business out here, whatever." Yeah. I mean, you still have to do research and write this script out, right? And try to do it in a professional manner.
It's the modern business card, is what we say here. You know what I'm saying? Like, go out there digitally and spread out some business cards, and through those techniques.
Even business cards, there's a technique for that too.
Yeah.
You cannot give a business card out. If you give a business card, you have to get one back. You have to get a number back. You cannot give out a number unless you get one back. That's the deal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's what a professional salesman would do. They would like, hey, here, can I have your business card? Cool, let me get your number. And then boom, I'll call you in a week and schedule an appointment. And that's really the approach. Because if not, you just throw away business cards. You know what I mean? So there's also, everything has a little strategy to it,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you leave a stack, people just gonna throw it away. If you give it to somebody to spread it out, they're gonna throw it in the trash, right? Most of the time, right?
True.
Yeah. So carry less and then get numbers. To me, that's what I would do. But I'm a little outdated too because I don't really depend on social media. I'm not in the shop. I'm not I'm not doing the social media thing to get business. But if somebody talks to me about tattoo, I'm tattooing them no matter what. That's how I feel.
That's dope.
Pretty good.
That's dope and it's inspiring. Now, follow-up question. What about yourself personally? Where do you see yourself, not in like 5 years, but what are your future, I don't know, do you have anything exciting coming up? Any new
I don't know.
inventions?
See,
Are you going to make rotaries? I don't know, bro.
Rotaries is always in the thoughts, but I think like it's so advanced now maybe that I'm kind of like at the super learn this new thing, because they have I saw solenoid tattoo machines. I saw vibrations type of rotaries and all that,
You want to talk about what we were talking about or not? I'll put it out there.
Yeah, we'll just bring it up afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want to.
And then see the reason why I never made a rotary is because I don't know how to imitate a machine as a rotary. That's my holdback. Because people talk about the give, but to me it's it's not the give. If you put a rubber band and fling a needle, it's different than pushing in a needle.
Mm-hmm.
That when you fling the needle, you with a rubber band, you rubber band and you shoot it right, it goes in different to me. So to me, it's that's the coil machine. When it goes in, when the armature goes back, it winds up the spring, the front spring, and that front spring flings the armature bar forward. And there's no movement in the rotary that does that. Rotary just it goes back and forth like this, and you can make it hit softer, but it's not the same movement. It's not as efficient to me, And for me, it's how do I imitate that the same? And it would be a Dan Cuban. A Dan Cuban would be the solution for that. But the Dan Cuban, this is what tweaks my mind, is since it's rotary, since it's spinning, the spring is also bouncing off of this cam, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, it's eventually it's going to have an irregular bounce. So they try to compensate it with another spring to prevent that to happen. So I'm overthinking probably.
Do you think as technology advances that there's actually can be a computer where or sensors that can actually, once it hits the skin, it could give some kind of like sensor to.
Yeah, I think so, but I think it's just more. I mean, we are going through like the microchips and like small thing already, but it's like, to me, it's like I think it's too much money, but it's gonna happen for sure.
Are you excited about the robotic tattoo machine?
I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I disagree, bro. I'm saving my chips for those.
It'd be the laser one.
Maybe like something that holds down and stretches the skin or something. Yes, I don't know. And plus the rotary too is like for you to make a rotary. It's like first you have to have kind of a name, like a big name, Like I don't really have a big name, to be honest.
Yeah, that does help.
Yeah, and then like
startup costs.
The startup cost is expensive because you're buying if you buy like a good rotary motor, the cheapest is $50, and you're talking about $120 for a really good rotary motor. So you're already $120 in.
So you gotta buy it in bulk then.
Yeah,
right.
You buy 100 of those. It's a lot of money.
It's a big investment.
Yeah, that's not even counting like machining the frame or casting the frame or stuff like that. So you're automatically in at 20, 30,000 on maybe it'll work. Maybe you'll make the sale.
Mm-hmm.
And the battery too, like battery design's hard, man. Like when I saw Critical's battery, I'm like, damn, that thing is fucking legit.
Huh?
Yeah, magnetic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? About time. The only thing I wish they did though is they put a light on it. If they put a light on the rotary, which I don't know why they don't do it. It's very.
We're on to something. We're on to something. All right.
Yeah.
We'll save it for another podcast. Cool, man. Well, thank you for all your insight, bro. I love that you have a lot of experience, and that's what it's about, man. Bringing some knowledge to all our viewers. I think a recap is like tattooing. Not only is it's a badass drawing, and tattooing craft, but also it's people skills.
Yeah.
And time and time again, you've tested that, and artists should hone their personal skills as well as they're honing their artist skills, And thank you for all your examples, bro. You're definitely
bro. Thanks for making
a lot of
ride.
experience.
Yeah. It wasn't that far. You have a far drive to the painting class.
Yeah, thank you. Where can we find you on social media?
It's 1850 Irons. It's my main page. I have Sam Ngo Tattoo, SAMNGO Tattoos. And I'm on there. It sucks. No followers, nothing. Don't get too excited when you go there.
You'll get a couple right after this.
Yeah, I don't really focus on big pieces anymore. So
just more smaller.
Yeah, it's less stress for my mind. I feel, like full black and gray sleeves don't excite me at all. No. Remember that, clients. That's for that.
Small bangers.
But Japanese do full sleeves.
There you go. Oh yeah.
All right, you want to close it off?
Yep. That was dope, very informative. I loved hearing, kind of going back into the past whenever you would speak and stuff, and I just try to envision it. You sound like a jack of all trades type of guy. It's pretty dope. And thanks for your time, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace out.